Hey, Jeff Munn, Creating Extraordinary Futures. And this week I want to talk about some founder lessons that I have learned from my 15-year-old son. So this morning was a pretty emotional one. After 2 days, we finally got word that Lucas, my 15-year-old, had landed in Japan to become an exchange student for the next year. Now, this is something that's been going on for a long time, and I think there's some lessons for us founders in the way that Lucas approached this, and I'm so proud of him, and I want to share these things. So first of all, Lucas had a dream. It's a dream that his mom and I didn't even know until he told us. He told us in November of 2023 that he wanted to be an exchange student and he wanted to go to Japan. Now, my wife had been an exchange student years ago in Sweden, so I guess it wasn't a total surprise, but he had done the research. When he came to us, he said, this is the online application, this is the process, and he honored that dream in himself. And I think that's the first lesson for a founder, is that there is something that you know. There is something you know that you want to do. And the question for you is, are you going to honor that? Are you going to trust that? So the second thing that I noticed him doing is that he focused on one step at a time. So the first step was to turn in the application. The second step was an introductory interview. Then there was a bigger interview. Then there was a weekend where it was kind of like a finalist meeting. And every step of the way, he was just focused on that thing that he needed to do next to realize his dream, without really fully realizing, I don't even know what exactly I'm going to get from this, but I know I am drawn to create it. And at the end of January, we found out he's going to Japan. He realized this step, this stage, he got the word that yes, he was going as an exchange student to Japan. And then he needed to learn Japanese. And he sat down and he immersed himself in it. And is he fluent in Japanese in roughly 6 months? Of course not. But he applied himself, and he kept the focus up, and he did what he needed to do. And he also realized that there was no way he was going to learn Japanese fluently in 6 months before ever being in the country. So he was willing to acknowledge, I can only do what I can do. So seeing the dream, taking the steps, recognizing that he could only do what he could do at this stage of the process, and that there's a lot more that he's going to learn in Japan. And then finally, I think about his actual travel. So he was supposed to leave on Saturday morning. He did leave on Saturday morning, fly to Vancouver, get a connection, fly directly to Japan. He missed the connection. So he had to figure out the next flight available was the following day. So he had to figure out, what am I going to do for the night? How do I get a hotel room? How do I get what I need to get so that I can check into this hotel room and that I can stay as a 15-year-old? And he figured out that there was a process, a consent form that needed to happen. Of course, we were supporting him along the way, but he was figuring out these things that he needed to do to keep going, to keep in motion. And I think that's the fourth thing, and probably the most powerful thing for a founder. Things will not go as you expect. There will be surprises. You will need to figure them out, and you will figure them out. So he spent an extra day in Vancouver. He spent the night. First time he was in a hotel room by himself. Flew out the next day. Ended up flying through Korea rather than direct to Japan, so he had to navigate that process. He got there after almost 48 hours of travel. We got photos from his parents. And, I'm going to add one here. The fifth thing his exchange parents were there, his teachers, the people from the Rotary. There was this whole team. And there is always a team available to support you in helping realize your dream. And to the extent that you can assemble and lean on that team, that's going to maximize your chances for success. So, little bit different video this week. I hope it resonates with you. Please reach out if there's anything in this video for you. And learn from my 15-year-old son. You can do this. You can follow your dream. You can go step by step. You can handle the unexpected. You can create a team around you to give you the support that you need. Take care, and I'll see you next time.